Across Australia, New Zealand and the South Pacific, this is the week's Adventist News in Focus.
Hello, thanks so much for joining us this week. I'm Sibel Kute. The growing migrant and refugee crisis in Europe has triggered renewed calls from Christian leaders for compassion. In Australia, the Anglican Church has called for 10,000 extra refugee places in response to the flood of Syrians fleeing their homes. The Australian Christian lobby has made similar statements. According to the ABC, Prime Minister Tony Abbott said the government would make provision to accept more Syrian refugees. In Europe, church leaders are also calling on their governments for a more open-hearted response while conceding the huge scale of the problem. Christian agencies such as ADRA in Serbia are doing what they can to assist refugee families passing through their region. Statistics compiled by the United Nations on global marijuana use reveal some surprising trends, with the South Pacific region receiving a number of dishonourable mentions. Papua New Guinea tops the global list of the most prevalent cannabis users, with nearly 30% of the nation's citizens believed to be at least occasional smokers. Not far behind are the Micronesian territories of Palau, the Northern Mariana Islands and Guam.
Churches can play a very significant role in addressing the issue of drugs in the South Pacific. Education is a very important area, addressing the problems relating to youth. The church is connecting with the government in addressing the problem.
The statistics blow a number of popular stereotypes out of the water, with the home of the dope-toting Rastafarians, Jamaica, being further down the list than Australia, and the drug-friendly Netherlands languishing at a much lower position than either of them. Singapore, with its death penalty for marijuana possession, however, had the lowest prevalence of all. In a landmark achievement, a new Bible translation in modern Russian has been completed after a 23-year marathon effort. The new Bible is only the second modern Russian translation since the fall of communism. For decades, Bible students have struggled with the archaic language of translations from 1876 or even earlier. The Bible Translation Institute, which was formed in 1987, is a collaborative effort by the Seventh-day Adventist, Eastern Orthodox and Jewish scholars, and has produced a translation that is gaining a wide acceptance by Christian denominations across Russia. The translators hope the availability of God's Word in everyday language will encourage Russians to take some time to explore and deepen their faith. Commitment to innovation in sharing the gospel has been spotted in Japan, where a 71-year-old retired pastor is going to great lengths to find and share stories of God's blessings. Pastor Masaru Kawagoe is passionate about meeting new people and collecting interviews and news that he can use for programs on Adventist World Radio. Just recently, he completed a 46-day tour of Japan from end to end, eating, sleeping and working in his car along the way, editing and uploading his radio programs. As he's getting older, Pastor Kawagoe has had to take things a bit easier. He used to do the tours on a bike. Now that's it for this week's Adventist News, but if you'd like to explore more Christian news from around the world, as well as some more in-depth analysis, check out the full half hour of Record in Focus. This week, political news and views from Canberra.
But now safely and responsibly bring refugees to this country. And in times of crisis, we should bring more. And we are in one such crisis. This is the largest humanitarian crisis since World War II.
Swapping those junk food snacks for healthy alternatives.
But you want the health benefits at the same time. So swapping things is easy. Yeah. You can save yourself calories, you can save yourself salt, you can save yourself sugar, you can go lower GI and get a lot more fibre for your health.
And a new book from Ken Vogel, The Fighter.
In the Yenga province, it was very bad tribal fighting, and Pastor Paul Piari was one of the pastors I worked with, and so he told me the story of his life journey, and I was just intrigued with his childhood and leading up to his conversion. It was a fascinating story.
You can watch In Focus every week on Hope Channel, the Australian Christian Channel, Digital 44 in Adelaide, or via our website, which is record.net.au. All the best. I'll see you next time. God bless.